Good morning. Welcome to BF Fiber Arts with Tamsin. I'm Tamsin, also known as Dr. Chaos, because I so enjoy making chaotic yarn. Usable, but chaotic. So today we are going to meet Hector. Say hello to Hector. Now Hector is a BFL Clun forest mix, which I have to say is very interesting. So if we have a look at a lock, look at a staple here, you can see that he's definitely leaning more towards the Clun forest crimp, but it's more open like BFL, because BFL generally is more wavy than crimpy, but he seems to be pulling the crimp from the Clun forest in the length of the BFL and sort of opened up a bit. Now Hector is very white. Apparently there is some weakness in this fleece, so we'll have to watch for that. Okay, there we go. So we did get a bit of a break in there, but this one's fine. So there is periodically, it's not a full break, but there is some weakness in the fleece, which was fully disclosed to me before purchased. I have no problem with that. As long as I know what I'm getting into, I'm good with it. So what we're going to do today is our usual. We're going to do 3 or 4 preps with this, spin it up, do some sampling, see what it looks like. So let's get started. So the first prep we're going to do is we're going to comb up some. I got my spritzer here. So I'll just grab a few locks. Whoops, all the way to the floor. And I'm going to lash them on. Now this has got some really good length to it. It's quite lovely. There is veggie matter, obviously. It is a sheep, living animal. They're not known for being clean. In fact, sheep seem to quite enjoy getting right into their food. Ignore any banging noises you hear in the background. It's just the garbage being picked up. And Latte's in the front window supervising. All right, there we go. Now when you're loading your combs, make sure you don't overload them like 1/3 to 1/2, because it is going to fluff up as you comb and it'll just fall off the end of your combs and frustrate the snot out of you. So we're going to comb up some of Hector. I love having names for the sheep I work with. It makes life more fun. Set that aside for further processing. Oh, we got static. We got static. Quick, spritz it down. I'll just do that little, work that water in. Oh, hold on. I reversed my combs. A little more of a spritz here. So here's the waste coming off the combs. It does have a fair bit of veggie matter in it, so this might just go to compost or stuffing. Just going to loosen things up on the back of the comb here. And you can see how it's fluffing up and taking up more of the combs. So if you overload your combs, you're not going to be able to keep your fiber on your combs. It'll just lead to frustration and a mess. Now, because I've combed it a couple times, I'm going to bite a little deeper now, try to get some of that veggie matter onto the back sides of the comb so it can be removed. Take that debris off. Now I'm seeing a little nap right here, so I'm just going to pluck that out. And there's a little piece of veggie matter right there. I'm going to see if I can just coax that out. Nope, doesn't want to come out yet, so we're going to comb again. we are going this way now. Now I'm seeing little bits of veggie matter, so I'm going to go right back and get it right away and get it to the back side of the comb, which is our goal, which is what removes the veggie matter from the fiber. Oh, there's another one. I'm going to try to comb that out and then relash that on. So we're getting down to nappy bits and veggie matter, but I'm still seeing a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, but there's still a little bit of debris right there in the fleece. So I'm just going to give it another spritz because it's getting pretty staticky. You want to kind of find the balance point between damp and static, because the damp will hold on to the veggie matter as much as the static will. So you kind of have to balance the two to get the veggie matter to release. There's a little bit there. All right, last pass. There we go. Lovely fluffy fiber. Now, because we have just combed over our lap cloth here, you can see it's full of debris. So this is why I have wood floors. Just clear that off so I'm not getting it back into the fiber. I'm just doing sampling, so I'm not going to bother clamping it to the table and dizzing this off, but that is definitely an option as well, especially if you want to make more roving. What I do is I comb and then I load it onto a hackle often and then diz off the hackle, so I have like bigger roving. But for sampling, I'm just combing off the end here because there's a few neps that came off. For sampling, I just pull it off. And we'll just stretch it out a bit, give it a bit of a twist, wrap it into our nest. So we have combed top, next we are going to, all right, so we're going to grab our cards. Now there's a fair bit of veggie matter in this, so I'm going to fluff it a bit. I'm going to card it to get that gook out. And to do that, I'm just going to do one pass to open up the fleece. I'm not worrying about carding properly or evenly. I'm just kind of opening it up. And then I put it back onto this card. Now I'm going to load everything up along this front edge of this card. I'm going to take a chunk of that. This is basically my no fleece left behind method. I do love my fleeces to be very clean. I'm very picky like that. So I will take the extra time to do this step to get that veggie matter out of the fleece. So my roll eggs will not have bits of veggie matter in it. This may seem like too much work to you. You may like to just like pick it open and then card your roll eggs for that. It's entirely up to you and how you prefer to pursue your craft. Don't let anybody tell you you're wrong. There's no such thing as that's not the way you do it. That's the way you do it. And you are allowed to do that as long as you have functional yarn left when you're done. How you get there is your choice. And my choice is to enjoy the process as much as I enjoy the finished product. And part of that, and part of what I like about doing my own fiber prep, is I can take the time to do what I feel I need to get the product I want. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside. going to take this little bit that we've cleaned up here, and I'm going to turn that into a roll egg. All right, there's a fluffy fiber. I'm just gonna tuck and roll, tuck and roll. All right, so there's our roll egg. That's our second prep. There's a big chunk of veggie matter in with my clean fiber. Get that out. Gonna grab my flicker. And we're going to flick some locks. Okay, I always start with the cut end, and it turns out it's better to start with the butt end. So I'm retraining myself. I shouldn't say better, but I'm finding I get better results by starting with the butt end. And now we'll do the tips. This is actually quite a long fleece, but because of that crimp, you're not seeing it until you comb it out. There's a little bit of debris. I'll pick that out. So there's flicked locks. They're quite lovely. So we have combed, roll eggs, flicked, and the last one we're going to do is we're going to pick some locks. Now with locks like this that have a lot of structure, I find the easiest way to do it is to grab from the side and pull them apart that way. That seems to like pull that structure apart more easily, so you get a fluffy cloud quicker. If we're pulling from the ends, I just don't find that it opens up as good. So I will pull from the side and pull down or up, or whichever way you want to go. But just starting from the side seems to separate the fibers better. I can feel a piece of debris right there. Most of what I'm doing right here is just strictly going by feel. I'm feeling the veggie matter in the picked cloud. There's another chunk there. So I'll get that out. And there we go. Picked. So now we have 4 different preps to try spinning. I'm going to make up just a little bit more of each, so I have enough to make a decent sample size. And I will be back when we start spinning.